I will go ahead and get started. Hello, everyone. Thanks for coming. This is the last class of the semester. I think this one will be fun. I feel like everyone can learn a little bit of something from it. If you're new here, my name is Lydia. I go to school at UMB. I'm a senior. I'm studying environmental science and sustainability. I'm also the face behind Stitches and Sprouts, which is just like a little Instagram page that I run. I share like eco-friendly tips and tricks along with like crafts and creations I've made. And everyone who joins this Zoom meeting is entered to win a mending pouch at the end of the class. So make sure to stick around. And you could win a little kit made by me. All right, so thrifting tips and tricks. I just have a few suggestions before you head to the thrift store. I highly recommend making like a vision board, things in particular that you're looking for. Maybe go through your closet, see what you already have. If you have like 3 denim jackets, maybe like make sure to make a mental note, okay, I don't need any more denim jackets. If you're looking for like a certain style or something to like upcycle or DIY, make a mental note, just kind of get an idea of what you're looking for. And then again, try to figure out the style you're looking for. A lot of the trendy styles now can be replicated at the thrift store for very cheap. Things like cottagecore, which you can see on the left, like dark academia, boho, artsy, grunge, Y2K, which is kind of funny that like 2000 trends are coming back. And if you're looking for a particular event, like for the office or something, definitely look that up on like Pinterest, Instagram, go online, look at different outfit ideas on there just to get an idea of what exactly you're looking for. And again, you can do that with your home too. If you are looking for a certain like wall, gallery wall idea, you can definitely look for frames at the thrift store, different types of furniture, pull from colors that you already have, kind of make like a color palette, just to help you get an idea. While you're at the thrift store, I know it can be like overwhelming, not going in with any idea of what exactly you're looking for. So kind of like slimming down that, those ideas will help a lot, and help you not buy things that you won't use or things that you don't really want. You just kind of bought on an impulse. And for the quality of material, you definitely want to look at that. Natural materials tend to last a lot longer. I would suggest buying those rather than synthetic materials. The other day I just watched a video about like the leather industry and like vegan leather. They kind of broke down the difference between buying leather from a thrift store and buying this brand new vegan leather. Vegan leather is essentially just pleather. It's made from plastic. It tends to use a lot more resources. And if you're against buying brand new leather, thrifting for leather is definitely a great alternative to that plastic leather. Wool is another great material to look for. It can be pretty expensive if you buy it brand new. And it's pretty warm, it's very durable, it lasts a long time. So definitely look for wool. Cotton is another one to look for if you're looking for like t-shirts and stuff. And then denim. Again, with the denim, you want to look for denim made from cotton. A lot of synthetic jean material is mixed with like spandex, and those tend to wear pretty quickly. I've definitely had tons of jeans like tear within like months of buying them because they have that spandex material that's pretty stretchy. So try to avoid that. And like I said, avoid those synthetic materials. Here's just a little list of things. nylon, polyester, acrylic, spandex, synthetic leather, or suede. They tend to wear out faster. I feel like I've definitely had shirts made out of that synthetic material that wear out pretty easily in the wash just after a few washes. Synthetic material also tends to have a higher impact on the environment. Once it's washed, it creates microplastics in the water stream. So just take that into consideration when you are washing those synthetic materials. I came across this article I thought was pretty interesting. It was like the top 10 things you need in your eco-friendly closet. And a lot of them were like a basic white tee, a basic pair of jeans, a basic long sleeve black shirt. And they tend to run at pretty high prices. I understand that they're like organic cotton, and made out of high quality material. But these are definitely things you could find at the thrift store rather than buying brand new. It'll save you a lot of money, and it's something that's already out there in the world that would be considered like a sustainable staple in your closet. And definitely read the labels before you wash things from the thrift store. I've definitely had wool sweaters that I have shrunk because I have not washed or dried them correctly. The sweater I'm wearing right now, I don't know what I did exactly, but I washed it incorrectly and the flowers turned more red than the original white. So just take a look at that just to avoid any accidents from happening. And definitely question yourself while you're shopping. Treat it as if you were shopping in like a retail store. Would I actually wear this? Is this my style? I know it's pretty easy to buy things that don't fit and then you tell yourself, oh yeah, I'll fix it, I'll change this, I'll change that, and then it just ends up sitting in your closet and not being worn. So make sure you ask yourself, will you take the time to fix it? Is it a decent quality? Again, look for those natural materials. Those will be the highest quality and you'll be able to get a few years from it. And then ask yourself, do you really need this, or is it just an impulse buy? Things from the thrift store tend to be pretty cheap. So it's pretty easy to buy a lot of things on an impulse that you might not actually wear or use. So just question yourself while you're shopping to avoid that. Some personal regrettable purchases I made. I think I was in high school. Me and my friends went thrift shopping and we bought these giant men's sweater vests, and we were like, oh, this will be so funny if we all have matching ones. But I mean, we probably wore it like once at a sleepover and never again because we had no use for them. So just make sure to avoid things like that. Another thing, I would used to buy like just plain, I think there was jeans or jean shorts, and then me and my friends would cut them into shorts and then bleach them. We were young and didn't really understand how bleach worked, and we would just like put them in buckets of bleach for hours and the material was just eaten up. That definitely could have been avoided. So if you plan on like DIYing or upcycling something, do a little bit of research and know exactly what you're doing just to avoid that unnecessary waste. That title is wrong. Some of my favorite purchases have also been from the thrift store. I bought lots of ceramics. Those are some of my favorites to have like the personal signature on the bottom. I think that's always cool to find at the thrift store. Sweaters, oversized like men's t-shirts. Those are some of my favorite shirts that I like to wear from the thrift store. Now, shopping for material, lots of thrift shops have like a craft section that you can buy like yarn and fabric, embroidery hoops, sewing pads. But I also suggest to get a little creative. Look at the curtains, bed sheets, tablecloths, napkins. Those are all great alternatives to fabrics. You could find a lot of vintage bed sheets or curtains that you could upcycle into something pretty cool. Old pillows, if the outside is kind of ugly and gross, you can definitely take it apart and use the stuffing for something else or to make a new pillow. Find graphic t-shirts that are either white or pretty light washed, make great alternatives to dyeing, just tie dyeing. I've had some pretty cool graphic tees made out of from the thrift store that I've tie dyed, which is definitely fun to do. And if you're not into shopping in person, you can definitely go online and thrift shop. There have been a lot of new websites recently that offer this. ThredUp is probably the most popular one right now. You can go online, put in your size. I think you can search by brand too, and color. Poshmark is another one. This is people personally uploading their clothing onto there, and then you buy it from that person through Poshmark. And then Facebook Marketplace. I've never bought clothes from there, but you definitely could. But furniture, things for your home, appliances, stuff like that. Definitely take a look on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist before you buy something brand new. Oftentimes it's already there listed. And I believe ThredUp offers like a trade back system too. If you buy something from them, they send you a bag to fill up things that you don't want anymore, almost like a thrift store. I'm not sure if you get like a discount from that. I've never used it, but I've heard great things about it. And before you donate, oftentimes we treat donating almost like a recycling or trash system. We throw a whole bunch of stuff into the bag without really looking at it, expecting it or any of that, and then donate it and expect it to be rebought. And oftentimes that's not true. So I found this little pyramid of what to do before you donate. Definitely try to sell it online again with those online thrift stores. Sell it to a local consignment store. Gift it or swap it with friends, families, neighbors. When I was a kid, I was always excited to get like my cousins hand-me-downs. Those were always fun to look through. So definitely gift. Find another way to reuse it. If it's like an old t-shirt, rip it up and use it as a rag. If it's a pair of jeans that are torn in the knees, cut it and use them as shorts. Just think of other ways that you could reuse it, either as a piece of clothing or in the home. And then go ahead and donate it if it's still usable, if there's no tears or rips, there's no stains. Think of it as like, would you buy this from a thrift store if you saw it? And then if it's not donatable, you can recycle it if you look at the tag and contact your local recycling center. Oftentimes they have a website that you can look at, and they'll list what they can recycle in terms of clothing. And then the last thing you want to do is throw it in the trash. So that is all I have to present, but if anyone has any questions, please let me know, or if they have any tips they would like to share, just shout out.
Yeah, that was really great, Lydia. Thank you so much. It's a lot of great information that I've never even thought about before thrifting. I'm kind of curious if you wouldn't mind sharing how you initially got interested in thrifting and how you've kind of learned all of these skills and ways to find good stuff there.
Sure. When I was younger, like me and my friends would just do it as like an activity, almost as if you're going to the mall. You can always find like weird, funny things. It's definitely a fun pastime. Where I grew up, they didn't have the best thrift stores. So it was more just kind of, you had to learn how to look for what was good and find the best thrift stores, like figure out what days to go. You kind of just learn about your like personal location, just in terms by just like going and visiting and kind of getting a feel for it. And yeah, I would say that's where my interest came from, and then definitely from a sustainability standpoint. And just like a college student, not a lot of money to spend on brand new clothes all the time. So it's an easy way to expand your closet in an eco-friendly way, I would say. Any other questions or tips that you would like to share?
So around Duluth, where are some really good thrift stores to go to?
Yeah, one of my favorites is Savers out by Target and by the mall. I feel like that's always a good one to check out. There is, oh, I can't think of the name of it. It's kind of by campus. I'm pretty sure it's a Goodwill by Walgreens and Super One. I think it's on Arrowhead. That's a good one too. I feel like there's always a lot of college apparel there because it's in campus, so that's a fun one to check out too. And then if you're not looking for thrift stores, antique stores are always a good place to look too. Those can be a little more expensive because it's like curated stuff that people have picked through and looked for personally themselves. But you can always find good things there too. It's just a little pricier.
I also know of a store called Plato's Closet, which is great it's only clothes. It has like a ton of younger styles, like newer stuff. And they actually do a buying program. So if you bring your old stuff in there, they can like price it out for you, and they'll like, it's like name brand stuff too, but it's like pretty cheap. It's still a thrift store.
Right. And I think what's cool about that is like, the stores is paying for it, so it's definitely going to be it's not going to be thrown away. Someone will most likely buy it. With thrift stores, a lot of the times things are thrown away before they even make it to the shelf because they're either damaged, unusable, or it's just too overwhelming for those thrift stores to sort through it. So yeah, Plato's Closet, any like consignment store is definitely a place to look for if you're donating. And I think Plato's Closet pays for your clothes too, so that's pretty cool. Any other questions?
I've only gone thrifting a handful of times, and I think part of the reason is because whenever I walk into a store, it's really overwhelming with all of the different sections and all of the stuff that's available, and you kind of have to hunt to find some good stuff sometimes. So when you're going into a thrift store, what are like some of the sections that you hit first or that you try to see if there's stuff for?
Yeah. Sometimes looking at clothing can definitely be overwhelming. So I don't always look at that unless I'm like have some extra time to go through. Like I said, I like looking at the ceramics, like dishes, mugs, the craft section. I always like looking for yarn or fabric. I guess it just depends on your personal interest. Like if you're looking for picture frames, go towards that craft section or the pictures. If you're looking for clothes, again, it kind of prepare yourself for what particular you're looking for. Make that little mood board just so it's not so overwhelming. And if you're looking for clothes, look at those online thrift stores. Those you can sort through size, like clothing, style. You can look up certain brands. So yeah, that's what I would suggest, so you don't get so overwhelmed.
I would also suggest going for certain colors that you really like. And honestly, seeing that if you just look at it and you don't really like it, just move on from it. And then later you can ask yourself, will I miss it? Or am I missing this thing right now? And then you can like go back to it if you really, really want to.
Yeah. Yeah. If you keep like thinking about it, you're like, oh, then I would go back and get it. But yeah, it can definitely be overwhelming. Just look at the thrift stores as in like sections instead of like trying to go through. You don't have to go through the entire store. If there's one certain part you want to look at, go towards that one, I would say. Any other questions? Or things that you want me to go back over?
Here's kind of a fun question, but what's one of the weirdest things that you found in a thrift store?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like anything that someone else has upcycled can always be pretty weird. I've seen like crazy lampshades with like those boa fur scarf things like wrapped around. Anything handmade can kind of be pretty strange. And it's interesting that they would even put them on the shelf. Some clothing items like old vintage clothes can be kind of interesting to look at too. Yeah. I don't know if either one of you, if Jonah went over the pouches, how to do that. Either one of you set up like a tally for that?
No, she didn't go over that with us.
Okay, I can pull it up myself.
Okay.
Just give me a second. I'm going to stop sharing.
Another hack kind of that I've learned, so I really like crafting, and so I like crochet a lot, so I use thrifted yarn. If you really like a sweater that has the yarn that you want, you can take apart a sweater. I've done that before. Typically it's one that's like been shrunk, or it's been like, it's not really great. Or I've also, when I have to stuff certain things, I already buy like a stuffed animal, especially if it's just like little stuff, little stuffing. So then I reuse stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And you can even use t-shirts, just like plain t-shirts. If you cut them pretty thin, you can stretch it out to make like t-shirt yarn. I've definitely done that before. So you just got to get creative. Think of different ways of how you can use certain materials. If you like a certain shirt or something, you can, but it doesn't fit you correctly, you can definitely like adjust it and add it to something else, just to make it personal.